I know it's one of the most misunderstood concepts in all of the world because it's one of the concepts that really simply can't be understood. This thinking about God and what is God and do we believe in God and does God exist? We talk about it as if it's a concrete, boxed up problem that we can make blanket conversations about, blanket statements, blanket summaries. But God is so far beyond that and so much more than that, that it's really not worth discussing what we believe in, whether we believe in it or not, because there's really no way of defining what it is, as it were, in order to decide whether we believe in it or not, as if what we believe has any importance whatsoever. But I wanted today to just share some thoughts on that idea, on this hugeness, this wonder of the divine. I talk about dreams a lot in that respect because they really help me to conceptualize at least something that has fuzzy enough edges to relate to without being too concrete in its definition. You know, in a dream, you're fully there. And in that dream, you have your body, as it were, and it can be very different things in different dreams. But for this exercise today, pick a dream that's rather vivid to you, one that was fairly well defined, and step into that dream for a minute and think about the reality in that dream. Now, in that dream, you have no idea who you are. You don't have any memory of a bedroom and a body, you know, male or female, laying in a bed, sound asleep and resting from a life it carries on, completely independent of that dream. You have no knowledge of that idea of yourself at all. So let's stay forgotten for a minute. Stay in the dream. And in this dream, wonder who you are. Now you'll say, well, you just told me to forget myself. How can I remember who I am in the dream? Well, you see, in the dream, you're not a person laying in the bed. You see, in the dream, your waking self is actually God in that environment. That sleeping self in the bed has created the entire world that you are inhabiting in that dream. That sleeping body in a bed has given you a separate sense of I that's different from its own. That sleeping self has completely hidden itself from your consciousness. He's left no trace, she's left no trace of her or his self in your world. So in the dream, try and define who is the dreamer? Who is it that has become everything that I see? Who is it that has given me a sense of I and a sense of freedom within the confines of a mind which, from the perspective of the dreamed, the character in the dream, looks infinite, looks as big as the waking world does. And you see the trouble that you're going to have, because you have no notion of how to define such a God who can create an entire universe in real time for you to experience and explore, a God that can give you access to part of its mind to share and to wonder and to dream and to know and to emote and to express fear and to express love, all within the context of nothing more than a story, nothing more than a make-believe. And yet in that make-believe you will run in terror in the nightmare. You will make passionate love in a dream of partners. You will explore mountains on vacation. You'll meet strangers in cafes. You'll walk through wonderful worlds that boggle any definition. Who is the dreamer in that environment? And how will you, as the dreamed, ever know? What is the one thing that the dreamed shares with the dreamer? It's that very sense of me, that very sense of being. But can you point to that in the dream? No, because it's the cradle within which the dream lies. It is the hand that holds the entire dream in its wholeness, outside of its boundary, as it were. So think of God in that way for a moment. He is in this waking state, you as the wakened dreamer, as it were. He, the creator, she, the creator of all that you are seeing. And yet, perhaps, it's all just as illusory and just as real-time made as the dream. And perhaps yourself in this dream is just as small and a part of and an imagined point as the dreamed is in the dreamer's universe. And perhaps everything around you really is a part of yourself. And maybe what you have in common with the divine is the very sense of I that allows you to experience the dreamer, the dream, the dreamed. And maybe there's a possibility of waking up.